Hey guys, and welcome. So I wanted to share some updates with you. A shift that happened this last weekend, and also some information I've been receiving about Australia and about Europe. I have received quite some questions from, both from friends and clients and from you guys that are watching the videos, and people, being worried because they're really feeling exhausted. They are feeling like the mind is just, they can't structure the mind and the thoughts the way they used to. These kind of things, especially now after this last weekend. So I will share with you what I have received in regards to what this shift is about. And as always, take what resonates and discard the rest. I'm really, really grateful for all of your comments. I know there's some comments that have been removed. It's not me removing it. It's YouTube. But please keep on commenting. I really appreciate reading your comments. And please share the video if it resonates for you and you think it can help others as well. So this last weekend, what happened, the way I've been shown it, is that it's a complete unplugging of the old system, of the old structure, the web, the matrix, call it what you want. So what I was shown, well, I can explain one of my experiences first, because it's sometimes it can be difficult to grasp when we are only talking about it in terms of energy, and sometimes it can be easier to understand with a very, very physical, tangible example. So for me, I started experiencing this very suddenly last Thursday. Looking back, I can see that it sort of got a bit gradual throughout the week, but it felt almost like a switch, like something just flipped on Thursday, and I felt completely detached from everything. A whole different level of, like, a complete detachment, except from heart-to-heart connections, not things coming from the mind at all, but really, really heart-to-heart conversations, communication, connection, and connection with animals and nature. Everything else was just like something existing. So one example can be that I really observed, is I always loved reading since I was a little child. So that feeling, just with a bookshelf and lots of books, and there are like these few books that have really, really had an impact on me, that I really, I'm very grateful for. And I was passing my bookshelves, I was seeing these books, and I felt absolutely nothing. Like, it, they're there. I've read it. It gave me something, like, but it very, very detached by everything materialistic. It was almost like I was just taken out of my own reality, in the very physical sense. At the same time as I was in it and going about my day and doing what I normally do, and it was quote unquote normal. But it was like a complete detachment. And sometimes I found myself like questioning, like, why am I experiencing this to that extent? Is this like a new state I'm going to be in, or is this just an experience for a certain period, and then I will go back to where the normal state I'm in? Or but it was this really, really calm state, really, really deep presence, deep acceptance, complete detachment, and even deeper than I normally feel, like in the heart space. and really, really feeling, you know, those conversations that are, you know, just spotting it on the street, even like those connections that were from the heart, even though I couldn't hear what they were saying. Like those were the only things that sort of were lighting up. Like everything else was just around. So it was this complete detachment. And what I was shown is that it's this unplugging. So what they showed me was like the old grid and the new grid. And then the collective field sort of just floating in between. Some people more connected into the new, and some people more connected into the old. And then they showed me that the anchoring of the old, of this old matrix, the old system, you know, have so many institutions and systems that are built on this energy and that structure, which is now no longer fed. It's like it's a done deal. Like it's not anchored anymore. Like the last anchors were just pulled up. It's not there. So everything playing out from now is, how can I explain this? Yeah, so imagine like you're fueling your car and you can drive until it's empty, but it won't get more fuel. So everything playing out now is sort of on that fuel they had, but it won't last because it's like there's nothing more. They can't get more fuel. It's not anchored anymore. The shift has happened. And that's the unplugging. So that's what I was shown is the reason why many are feeling really exhausted and tired, very, you know, like can't really grasp things with the mind in the same way or structure the thoughts in the ways, you know, we were used to. That is just like weird and sort of confusing, and we can't really, you know, name or explain like exactly what it is. It's just like this weird sort of feeling that many have asked me about. And I was shown that this is why, because the structure and the system we used to live in is now sort of, instead of like steady on ground, it's like just on these waves, because it's not anchored and held and stable. So if you are experiencing those things, that's what I was shown is the reason why. Now, as this unplugging has happened, we are in the new. Though it might not look like it in the physical for a little while yet, because it's just playing out. So what's really important, they showed me, is to stay focused on what you want to create. Stay focused on the new. Because if you start fighting what has happened now, it will be more of like the programs or the mind trying to anchor back into what no longer is. Whether that's patterns, whether it's relationships that are, you know, dissolving, or whether it's, you know, the way we live, like whatever is being changed in your life and will continue to be changing in your life. If you find yourself fighting it and trying to anchor back in what was, it will cause you more suffering, because it's like trying to put an anchor into thin air. It can't, it's not there. And the shifts will be really quick now. So the most helpful thing to do is to be just present in the body. Speak your truth, be your truth, even though it's intense in the external, even though you are challenged. When you need a break, come back to yourself, take that break, breathe into your body, be in your body, and be really aware of what energy you are coming out from. Not fighting the old from the same energy, from the same consciousness, like I've been talking about before, but holding and really embodying that new energy, what you want, how do you want to feel, what world do you want to live in. Embody that, be in that energy as much as you can, without judging yourself when you're not, because we will get pulled off center. Everyone gets pulled off their center. Then it's using our tools to come back and being aware of when we are being pulled out, and then remember not to take action or make choices from that state, but come back home into you before you make a choice, before you take action on something. I'm just going to have a look at my notes. Yes, they said have patience with yourself, because there's quick shifts. And so if you hear this many times, you can easily feel like you're getting stressed, like what if I'm not doing anything, or doing something wrong, or I have to keep up with this. If you're just present, you're in your body, and you're as much as you can in acceptance, and take what comes up for you in any moment, and you stay true to you and make that your commitment. And remember that other people can have different opinions than you, and we can still respect each other. We can still have compassion for each other, even though we're not on the same, having the same opinion or the same perspective on something. But standing together in creating the new. That's really, really important. There is no more time for unlearning things. It's just being open and flow. And that's this deep, really sort of extreme detachment, and letting go. It's like, okay, I'm just letting go of everything, and I will see where it takes me. Embodying who I am, embodying my truth, embodying my light, being really, really honest with myself and with others of how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what are my struggles. We can reach out to others when we need that. It's not about everything is super glorious. It's about being present with what is, because things will change really, really, really a lot the coming weeks, months, and years. They said don't look back, don't fight, but nurture yourself, be patient with yourself, and remember that the body is adjusting. So when your body needs something, listen to you, listen to yourself, listen to your body, instead of listening to someone else telling you what your body needs. And I also said nature and water is really crucial when it's stressful for the body. Being in joy, being in laughter. Remember to laugh. They say that like every single day now. Remember to laugh. Because when it's so intense, and with the external experience we have now, it's so easy to be really serious and like we have to fix this. We have to come into that energy. But remember to embody the joy, to embody that energy that we want to live in, that we want to create a new systems out of. And they also keep repeating, create, speak your truth, hold compassion for others, and empower others. Not like, be really aware if you try to use manipulation, if you try to control others, or you try to control yourself, because that comes from fear. And find them, if you feel you're going into those patterns, come back to you and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And find, release that, and then you can move forward. They said, so when they showed me this old sort of grid, web pathways. So it looked like, you know, different pathways where the energy was moving. And then the new one, and they said, choose which pathway to be on. Do you want to try to play in this, like the residues that are playing out, or do you want to play in this? And remember, it's a choice. And they said, be aware of any energetic pull, and remember to choose, because there will be energetic pulls back into the sort of last playing out of this old. And then it's the awareness that will help you, and actually making an empowered choice of what you want to play in. That's really important. They also said that your empowered choice and deep resonance over program clears your way. So if you're finding yourself in doubts, in fear of whether you're doing the right thing, whether you are prepared, like we are prepared, there's no more prepping. We're in it now. It has shifted. It's just the last, really the last things playing out. It's, if we choose that instead of the program, that clears our way. So you don't need to stand now and figure out everything about the future. If you just follow your deepest resonance, and if you make your empowered choices rather than choosing the old program, that clears the way and shows you where you're going. And so you don't need to try to go into the future and try to figure out what's coming, what's going to happen, what am I supposed to do. It all comes from this present moment in your heart. Let me check. Yes. Yeah, and I said that now, if you watch my videos before, you know that I have a bit of an issue with specific dates, and it's not often they give me dates. And the reason why is that, so if you receive a message that this date, this thing is going to happen, it can affect the way you use your energy up to that date, which can make it so that there will be a different potential playing out rather than the one it looked like. It can also pull you back into just waiting. Okay, if this is going to happen on that specific date, I can just sit back and wait and not do anything, not shift, not transform within. And there are always many potentials of how things can play out and different timelines. So always have that in mind when a date or something like that is mentioned. Now, they have said December 10th. They said that on December 10th, the energies will shift. Be prepared for realities to be changed for many. They did not give me any more specifics on it, but I got very clear guidance to share that in this video. So it feels like we are sort of like in a bridge almost from that old energy before last weekend now into December 10th, and that sort of being like one period, being a bridge, and then there will be a shift on December 10th. It's still most important to be present, to make your choices, to embody what you want to create, and to speak your truth, and hold compassion. Like, that's no matter what kind of information comes in on anything, that's the most important, which is why I repeat myself many times. I know. So what they've said about Europe, and I said this in I think a couple of videos ago, that it's the way it looks now, it's that it's going to be rather intense for 3 to 4 months. They now said, remember this sort of vision with the fuel, that there's no more energy feeding what's going on. So whatever is being played out, remember that it won't be continued. It's not supported, so it will burn out. So every time you find yourself like being drawn into it or being pulled off your center, it's getting more, feeling is more intense, more pressure, all of these things. Stay true to you. Know it's going to pass. And remind yourself of that over and over and over again, as many times as you need, because it is going to pass. But speak your truth and embody that feeling of what you want, and be really true to yourself. That's the most important commitment you can make now. Stay focused. There will be invitations to conflicts. There will be many narratives from both sides of the spectrum, and a lot of instability. Also be aware that there can be sudden situations coming up when people are sort of pushed to their extreme, and they're trying to fight for a security, no matter what their perspective of how that looks is. It can cause very sudden conflicts and situations to come up. So be aware of that and remove yourself from any situation like that. That's really important, because there can be like this sudden popping up of conflicts. So I'm not saying that to create fear. It's more to have the awareness and to be able to, with that awareness, be really aware of your own energy. How am I moving around? What energy am I feeling into? Is this like, are we in unity? Are we in the new? Are we embodying that energy that we want to be in? Or is this a conflict type of energy, a fighting type of energy? Then maybe that's not where you want to speak and use your voice, and use your energy. So just feeling into the energy underneath is really important. Now on Australia, I was taken, and this was really, really beautiful and amazing. So first, on the situation in Australia, it felt last weekend as well, when this shift happened, it felt like everything changed in Australia. It feels like the energy in Australia is very different now. It feels, I mean, I'm aware that it's intense, but it feels like the energy now is a very different one. It has really flipped into that new. And yesterday I was taken on a journey, and I've been there before, or I've been watching it from another place that I normally am being taken to, and they've been showing me this, a council of elders on a specific point, and I have now been taken into that. So this is a specific point or place in Australia that I was taken into, and there's this circle of a council of elders from all over the world. I saw them communicating with the inner earth. So there are like councils in the inner earth. So one of the places where I go when I go into the inner earth is one of these sort of councils, which are made up of different beings from different places. It's what I was shown is that now there's, because of this shift that has happened, and it's now the new that is going to rise, and it feels like Australia is very essential in that part, in the start of the new. So I saw this council, and they were sitting around, and I saw this really beautiful white light. It was almost like this white light was shining but moving as if it was a flame, but it was really sparkling, pure white. The energy was just amazing. So when I came into this place, I was really humbled, because I felt like, okay, one thing is watching it from the outside, but actually being taken in and stand, just watching the circle and being in the place and feeling the energy. I got so warm, because it's like the heat of fire, coming off from this really white, pure, beautiful light. And I saw that through this they were communicating into the inner earth, and they're these beings from the inner earth. And then I saw these crystals that I've been talking about before, that I've been seeing in Australia. And I saw these beautiful, beautiful sort of buildings, very different from what we have here, in so many nuances of colors. It was amazing. It's so beautiful. Like it's impossible to find words that can describe it. But it was just like incredible. Then I saw this one white crystal that is coming up, which is what this white light I saw in this council on this place, in Australia, is coming up. It was the light from that crystal. And I was asking, because there were more things going on that I don't have full clarity on, and so I don't share things until I'm having some sort of clarity about it. But this piece, I was asking if this is something to be shared, and they said yes, because they said that this is the rising of the new. This is the rising of that energy. That energy is held, which is also why things have been so intense there first, because it's where it looks to me then, where the new is starting to rise. And this has now started. It's not guarded in the way it has been looking like. It is now happening, and there's these elders from really all over the world. So it's not like energetically it's from all over the world, but it's happening there. It's really, really beautiful. And also they said that they're like all the elements are bringing these energies around. And remember also with challenges, if you're experiencing challenges in the physical body or in your physical experience, as we're going through this huge shift now into that new which is rising, to work with the elements, because the elements moves energy, and that can be very helpful. So water, fire, air, earth. Remember that those can move. You can move energy from one element to another, and just start to play with that and think with that in the way you work with your physical body as well, because that's the way this new energy is being spread around the world. It's through the elements. And so the more we can start having the awareness of working with the elements also in the body, it sort of aligns us with the ways the energy is moving around the earth. I think that is all Let me take a look at my notes. Yeah, they said humanity will shift greatly the coming weeks and months. Big shifts happening. They have also brought Africa in, which I could understand why a few days later. But they're also, and they keep reminding me now, to support the children, have it is I don't forget the children in Africa. So whenever the shifts are happening or the narratives are coming or whatever is playing out, remember the power those narratives and everything you listen to and hear, the power it has over your focus and where you focus. So remember to really hold the light for children all over the world, all continents. They are seeds of the new, and keep supporting them. Yes. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I know it was a lot of sort of different things, but it's so many different things, and everything is interconnected with the situation we are in now and with the way the energies are moving. So I really hope this can help you. I am so grateful for all the gratitude I'm receiving from you guys. Really grateful for that. Remember to commit to yourself, speak your truth, love yourself, nurture yourself, don't be so hard on yourself. And it's, even though it is intense out there, remember to have your safe place, have your sacred space, whether it's just coming back to your heart, no matter where you're finding yourself, or whether it's a corner in your house or a room or a place in nature that you can just come back to and just come into you, find your center, and then you can go back out. And remember that no matter what plays out, it's no longer fed, because it is completely unplugged. So we're doing this. I wish you a beautiful day. Hold compassion for others as well, going through the exact same things as we all are. Lots of love from me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.